Hey, folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This video for Monday, April 16th, 2012 is sponsored by Realtik. All right, we're going to get right into the mix today, folks. Markets are trading neutral-ish on either side of the flat line. Very unusual day for a couple reasons. Number one, the NASDAQ is actually down 0.5%, down 15 points, but the Dow is up 118 points. So again, you have a market where technology is getting hammered on the back of Apple and Google today. We'll talk about those in a little bit. And then on the other side, you got upgrades on Caterpillar out there. You got a big move out of IBM. A lot of Dow components are making strong moves today, and that's propelling the Dow Jones Industrial Average up sizably. The S&P 500 is kind of just hovering around the flat line as if it's a combination of the two. That is trading up about 3.5 points on the day, or just 0.25%. And again, that kind of matches the SPY, which is what you see here in front of you, mirroring the S&P 500. It is currently trading up 34 cents on the day. And you can see it's come well off the lows. Interestingly enough, this morning we gapped up. We gapped right into the high pivot from Friday afternoon. And again, if you remember Friday afternoon, we saw that sharp sell-off at the open for the first hour, and then sideways consolidation in spirit of bearish consolidation, and then that last 40-minute sell-off into the end of Friday. And the gap up today essentially negated that 40-minute sell-off, and we went right back up to the highs of the consolidation pattern right here into this key white trend line, into the 50-moving average. That did not last long. As you can clearly see, we saw a massive sell-off, again taking out the Friday lows, the market going all the way down to this blue trend line. And this is a blue trend line I gave out as a buy level in the intraday stock chat. If I zoom out, you'll see why. All right, you go right to the pivot low right there, and that is the level you saw. So I guess that's last Wednesday's low is exactly the low from today on Monday. We hammered on that multiple times, could never break it. And again, you bounced off of it, came back in, hit it again multiple times, and then started to float up as volume disintegrated. And again, notice the volume here. Notice how the market made the low when the volume was heaviest in that first hour of trading. Then look at the volume die off, and the markets float neutral to higher. And that's a common theme we've seen very, very often in the markets, how lighter volume will lead to neutral to upside movement in the markets, while heavy volume is joined with selling. Therefore, you're seeing the markets fall on the heavy volume. All right. So again, right now, there are a couple things that I'm seeing in the markets and in the charts. Number one, you have to refer to the Qs. This is something I also told my premium members here in the intraday stock chat and in the research center via Traders Life 24/7. The Qs hit the 50 moving average on the daily chart today. When I saw that, I gave them the heads up that I think the market would probably have bottomed for the day, and you might even see a neutral to upside movement for a couple days on the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100. And if we go to the Qs on the daily chart, look at that. A perfect hit of the 50 moving average, and look at the bounce you've already gotten on the daily chart of the QQQ NASDAQ 100. And again, what's going on here? The NASDAQ obviously getting roasted today. The Qs are still down 51 cents on the day, even with the Dow and the S&P both positive. And the simple answer is Apple. I mean, it's all about Apple, even Google to some extent. But look at Apple getting crushed again. And again, you have to look back here. As we were bearish on Apple as it was above $600 over the last couple weeks, you had people like Kramer, the media, analysts, all upgrading to ridiculous target prices. $1,000 target price on Apple when it was trading above $600. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, that's a joke. The sad thing is that the retail investor doesn't know it's a joke, and they're the ones buying over $600, and now they're the ones that are getting hammered on the position. As the institutions have unloaded, smart money is obviously not in Apple on the long side either. And again, from last week's high of 644 on Apple, you hit a low today of 582. I mean, that is a big drop, folks. I mean, you're talking about a $60 drop. I think it's about a $57 billion loss in market cap on Apple just in that period. And that's really in the last 5 trading days. So again, Apple, the result and why the NASDAQ and the Qs are down on the day, as well as Google. Let's take a look at Google. Google has been crushed here, although it's bouncing off the lows of the day. Look at ever since they reported earnings. Earnings were reported after the close here on this day, and 1 2-day sell-off, massive sell-off. Google going from $650 all the way to about $600 low today in just 2 trading days. And the combination of Apple and Google are really the result of why the NASDAQ is so weak today. You do have weakness in Amazon down $2.63, but that's not a huge move. You also have Baidu, BIDU down $3.60, which is a decent move. But there's a lot of technology stocks that are actually positive. Microsoft's up 31 cents, Intel's up 29 cents. What I'm noticing is you kind of have the old school stocks that have been around a long time, like Microsoft and Intel, and even some of the other ones like IBM to some extent. They're the ones holding the market up today. They're the ones that are kind of like old faithful, that they're just continuing to kind of trudge along here and not get caught up in the massive selling of some of the crazy moves that we've seen in stocks like Apple lately over the last 3-4 months. All right, so that's what's going on with the NASDAQ, why it's selling off. Scanning through, let's go back to the SPY on an intraday basis. You can see again the SPY ran right up into the 200 moving average here in this trend line and is seeing some selling. This could be the beginnings of bullish consolidation. We'll see if it breaks further into the close onto the upside. But again, markets still remain doing very, very well at this point in time. Let me just scan through any other charts out there. I am seeing solar stocks kind of mixed today. One little tidbit of news was on CSIQ. CNOOC there was a rumor that CNOOC was looking to buy Canadian Solar. Canadian Solar, CSIQ is the symbol there. That stock jumping about 10% today on that rumor out there. You're also seeing some other technology solar plays doing decently as well, even in the weaker NASDAQ sector. All right, so that's going on. Chevron and Exxon, we are seeing them having good gains. They got really pummeled over the last week, but over the last few trading days, they've come back nicely. And you can see a nice in spirit of bearish pattern forming on Exxon here. I'd love to see this trade up into these moving averages, and I think it's a dead short at that point. So continue to look for a time count. For those of you that have taken a proprietary methodology webinar here at InTheMoneyStocks.com, look for a time count in conjunction with a bear flag. Should be a great opportunity to make some serious cash on the downside of Exxon when that comes to fruition. All right, and again, Chevron, we can take a look at Chevron, CVX, same thing. It's been punished, but it is getting a bounce today up $1.23. Now remember, folks, if you're new, if you're watching these videos, if you've heard about InTheMoneyStocks.com and their accuracy on cycle dates and pivots and swing trade master levels and so forth, the easy thing to do is take the 7-day free trial to the Research Center, which is geared towards swing traders, or the Intraday Stock Chat, which is geared towards day traders. And that's the bottom line. It's all about where you fall in that category. If you're an investor, a swing trader, Research Center is what you want. If you're more an intraday player, then you want the Intraday Stock Chat. But again, the key is you will get proprietary methods that will blow your mind to the point of making you one of the best investors, traders in the world, even better than hedge funds. These hedge fund guys know nothing. These Kramer people know nothing. I mean, it's almost a joke out there when you can actually view what we view and find these levels. And again, we're just going to continue to put swing trade alerts out there as the patterns show themselves this week, and we will continue to make money in swing trade alerts. Okay? Scanning through the last couple things here, I am seeing Apple down another 21 bucks, so it's coming in a little bit here. The low of the day has still not been taken out, but it could be. You never know. And that is going to continue to keep pressure on the NASDAQ out there, while Dow components like IBM and Caterpillar are just having great days. I mentioned Caterpillar was upgraded today. And that stock, again, getting a nice little pop. And you can see over the last few days, it's had a very, very nice pop as well. Still in a downtrend, though. I mean, in all fairness, if you connect this pivot low through, I mean, this is probably where you want to short it. In fact, this will be a great short. I'll probably do this myself. If you get Caterpillar to come up into this 50 moving average, if you connect the highs, that's going to be your level right there. 50 moving average downsloping trend line should be a great level right around the 110.70, 110.50 to 111 area on CAT. All right, another trend line I want to show you guys. I put this one up on the Rant and Rave blog. Notice this one on Amazon. If you connect all the recent lows over the last 4 months or so on Amazon, look at the trend line you get. This is a major trend line. I think short term you get a little bit of a bounce off this on Amazon, but I think over the next 2 weeks or so it does finally break through this line. When it does break through the line, it's going to go to the 167 area down here as a double bottom play. Should be a great little trade once that comes to fruition. I'll be looking for the pattern to form. I'll give my alert out to the Research Center members here at InTheMoneyStocks.com so they can make more money as well. All right, on that note, I'm going to step off, folks. Got to get back to trading. Got to get back to making money with my members here. But again, In The Money Stocks, 7-day free trial. Research Center geared towards swing traders, investors. Intraday Stock Chat geared towards day traders. Take care.